I don't have money, I want to be a surrogate. I don't have money, I can carry for someone a baby. I can carry for a couple's baby, and then they pay me. I don't have money. Do you know you cannot qualify? Sometimes you may not be qualified to be a surrogate mother, and sometimes the process is so expensive that you cannot even. You just think that because you've given birth, you can be a surrogate mother. You cannot. There are legal process that must be followed. There are so many things that are involved: emotional, psychological, financial, and also people who are experts are also involved in this process. So if you want to be a surrogate, stay tuned, watch this video up to the end, so that you might be the one to carry the pregnancy to help couples who are not capable of giving birth. Anyway, do you know what? In this world, we are not always the same. Some people are in a position to give birth. Some people are not in a position to give birth. Some people have medical conditions which are putting them at that state. So if you are in that state, don't lose hope. If you are in that state, I'm not talking about gay people, I'm not talking about lesbian people, I'm talking about people who were not blessed with the capability to give birth naturally. So if you're in that state, maybe the medical condition has put you in that state, this process can help you have a baby. Yes, this process can help you have a baby, and sometimes this process can help you have your own baby. Maybe your eggs are very normal, are very active, but the problem is that you have a medical condition that is putting you at risk of losing pregnancy most of the time if you get pregnant. Also, maybe you have a low sperm count, so your sperms must be just collected and go and get fertilized somewhere, and then they can be transferred to a uterus. Or there's so many conditions that can put you to choose this process. So stay tuned, watch this video up to the end, and don't forget to subscribe so that we reach 1,000 subscribers. Yes, subscribe so that we reach 1,000 subscribers. You people, if this channel could be one of somebody, of a celebrity, somebody you can troll, somebody who has something that you can talk negative about it, then this channel could be having a group of negativity. But if someone somewhere is giving information, you always not like supporting people who are having positive impact to you. So please kindly subscribe, watch this video up to the end, and then you share, and then you turn your notification bell. Bye, let's meet in the video. Hello guys, welcome back to another video. So guys, in case you are clicking into this channel for the first time, kindly subscribe, like the video, share, comment. Don't forget to turn your notification bell. To our returning subscribers, thank you very much for always clicking into this channel. Thank you for always supporting. So guys, today let us talk about gestational surrogacy. Gestational surrogacy. Okay, do you know that you might not even qualify to be a surrogate mother? Do you know that there are different types of gestational surrogacy? And do you know who is capable of starting the process of surrogacy? So guys, if you want to know more about surrogacy, stay tuned, watch this video up to the end, leave a comment, tell me what you want me to talk about in the next video, or tell me what you would like to know more in this channel. In this channel is where we usually talk about health related content. We have vlogs and also lifestyle. So guys, stay tuned, watch this video up to the end, leave a comment if you have any. So We want to talk about gestational surrogacy. What does it mean? Gestational surrogacy is when another person carry and deliver a child for another couple or a person. So the person who carried the pregnancy is called gestational surrogate or gestational carrier. So the couple or a person who intends to raise the child is called intended parent or intended parents. Most pregnancy carried by gestational surrogate are achieved by in vitro fertilization. We had already talked about in vitro fertilization in our previous video. If you don't know anything about in vitro fertilization, you go and watch so that you learn, so that you are aware of what we are talking about in this video. So in vitro fertilization is when a person is created, is when an embryo, not a person, when an embryo or a baby is created in a lab using an egg and sperm from an intended parents, or an egg or a sperm donor. So the embryo is then transferred to the uterus of the carrier, because maybe the intended parents are not capable of carrying the pregnancy because of maybe medical related conditions. So because there is because the gestational carrier doesn't provide an egg, there is no there are no genetic connection between the carrier and the child. So that is what I have to say about gestational surrogacy. Another thing that I want to say, what is the difference between surrogate and gestational surrogate? Surrogate and gestational surrogate. There are two different kinds of surrogacy. You have to know that. We have the gestational and the traditional one. So the gestational surrogacy is a type of surrogacy where the surrogate or a carrier or the carrier of the pregnancy is not genetically related to the fetus because they did not provide the egg used for fertilization. The intended parent's egg or a donor egg is used to in this type of pregnancy. So the gestational surrogate carries the pregnancy and give birth to the baby. It is the most common type of the surrogacy, and in most cases at least one parent is genetically related to the child, but the carrier is not related to the child, which means this makes the process less legal complicated. Yeah, because if we have some cases where somebody give birth to a child, then the process of carrying a baby, usually sometimes you give birth if you're already bonded with the child, so you find it hard to release the baby to the intended parent. So the carrier in this gestational surrogacy is not related to the child, and you find that it is it make this process less legally complicated. So we have another type that is called traditional surrogacy, is when the carrier of the pregnancy is genetically related to the fetus. So their eggs are used to create the pregnancy, and they carry and deliver the baby. Then, as the child's biological parent, they must surrender parental right to the intended parent. This type of surrogacy is illegal in many states or in many countries and has many legal complications. Gestational, I want to explain it in simple terms. Gestational surrogacy is whereby the carrier of the pregnancy is not genetically related to the parent, to the baby, which means that the intended parents, one of them contributed either the sperms or the egg, and then they transferred the fertilized ovum to the carrier, to the uterus of the carrier. And after that, after the carrier has given birth, they will she will release parental right to the intended parent. Traditional surrogacy is where we find that one of the carrier is genetically related to the child, and this, which means the intended parents only donated the sperms, but immediately after this carrier has given birth, she must release the parental right, or she must release the parental right to the intended parents. So who choose? You have to know that those people who can give birth through surrogacy, that those people who can give birth through normal process. So who choose gestational surrogacy? Many people or couples uses gestational carrier to grow their families. Gestational carrier may be needed when an intended parent is infertile because of the problem with their uterus, or the intended parent cannot be pregnant or give birth due to serious medical conditions. And also maybe if a person has a hysterectomy and doesn't have a uterus, or has uterine malformation. There are those people who has removed their uterus. The process is called hysterectomy. So if you have removed your uterus and you still have a desire to get children, then you can choose gestational surrogacy. And then also another person who can have this is an intended parent is biologically incapable of conceiving or bringing a child, such as a single person or a gay male. I don't like talking about these people, gay, lesbian, anyway, but there are things which are happening. There are those people who have chosen that they want to stay as a couple, male and male, female and female, so they will choose this process, gestational surrogacy. That is how they usually, that is why you usually find these gay people usually say that they can give birth, or they can get pregnant. This is the process, surrogacy, the process of getting a child through surrogacy. So what's the process to use in gestational surrogate? In gestational surrogacy, the embryo is created through in vitro fertilization using the egg and the sperms of the intended parents, and the embryo is then transferred to the surrogate who carries the pregnancy. So the process starts with the selecting a carrier. Yes, if you want to start this process, the process starts with selecting a carrier. Next, the process, what you will do, the carrier and the intended parents sign a legal contract and have various medical and psychological screening. Once that is done, and then the fertilization can take place through in vitro, where we have already talked about that. It is taken to the lab, the egg and the sperm is being fertilized, then it is transferred to the uterus. So finding a gestational carrier, let's talk about that. Most people interested in surrogacy meet with a surrogacy agency to discuss the process and the cost of the treatment. Some people do this for the purpose of money, because they want to fund their lifestyle, so they carry the pregnancy for their parents who are not capable of giving birth naturally. And so the agency help match you with the gestational carrier. It helps establish legal agreement or the contract between the intended parent and the carrier. Agency are the middlemen between the carrier and the intended parent. So some couples or individuals choose family member or friends as their gestational carrier. This is generally okay. However, there are many there may be more emotional complexities to select someone and then according to the American Society for Reproductive Medicine, an ideal gestational carrier is a healthy person between the age of 21 to 45, a person with at least one but not more than 5 pregnancy and full-term delivery without complication. You want to be a surrogate, these are your qualification. Yeah, these are your qualification. First, you have to be between 21 years to 45 years, preferred younger than 35 years, because you know, if you pass 35, you are also at risk of developing pregnancy medical related complication. So below 35 to 21, and then this person must at least have one baby, yeah, a healthy baby, and at least, but not more than 5 pregnancies, and these pregnancies must have been delivered full term. Full term is 37 weeks and above. The second qualification, the third qualification is that a person who has not had more than 3 cesarean section delivery, because you know, some of these surrogate mother, they might deliver through CS. So if you have had 1 CS, you can qualify. 2 CS, you can qualify. Less than 3 CSs, more than the 3 CS, you cannot qualify to be a surrogate. The next qualification is that the person caring for you, the baby, must have a healthy weight that is within the normal range. We don't want you to be underweight. They don't want you to be overweight. So your weight must be within the normal range. Also, another requirement set form by the surrogacy agency. I mean, the agency might have any other qualification that they may desire to for the person carrying the baby to do what? To have. So all these things you will discuss with the what? With the agency and the person who is doing what? The intended parent. Another thing, ideally, the carrier should have a stable family environment with adequate emotional support to have the added to help with added stress of pregnancy, and also the carrier will have a complete background checkup. So in case your family usually have maybe gestational diabetes, if you have a history of gestational diabetes, if you have a history of preeclampsia, if you have any history of medical condition in pregnancy, or if you have any other medical condition that can put your life at risk, you are not qualified. Also, an indebted parent typically have to share a certain financial debt to ensure they afford gestational surrogacy. It is expensive, though. It is expensive. If you can afford me 50 million, then I can carry for you the pregnancy. 50 million, I will carry for you the pregnancy. Then I will not have to bring my egg. And then also, anyway, let us talk in the comment section if you want to have a surrogate mother. So medical screening for gestational surrogacy is also important. So the intended parent and the carrier must have medical evaluation, including screening of psychological conditions like depression, by meeting with psychologists, the psychologist, yes, the psychologist. And then they have to say, okay, the American Society for Reproductive Medicine say the carrier should get a comprehensive medical exam to ensure they are healthy to carry a pregnancy. The organization also suggests they get blood tests that check for syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, HIV, if you are HIV positive. But I think nowadays HIV patients can carry the pregnancy. Yeah, they can carry the pregnancy because we know we have HIV patients who give birth to babies who are healthy. Yeah, and also hepatitis B. But all these syphilis, gonorrhea, they have to be treated first before you do what? Before you get pregnant for the intended parents. So hepatitis B and C also must be treated in case you have, or if you have this condition, you might not be qualified to be a surrogate mother. The carrier should also be current on vaccination like measles, mumps. The carrier also must be screened for any how do you call it, any genetical disability, things like Down syndrome, things like that. So after that, the legal process for gestational surrogacy must be completed before in vitro fertilization, because we said gestational surrogacy, it is done through in vitro fertilization. So before you start the process of in vitro fertilization, then the legal process must to be completed. So the agreement or the legal cover contract or that form carries things like the gestational carrier will give birth the baby to the intended parent after birth, the carrier role and the responsibility during the pregnancy, like attending prenatal appointment, not using drug or alcohol during pregnancy, compensation and payment in case of anything sensitive issue like termination of the pregnancy, death of the fetus, things like those. All risk and liability associated with in vitro fertilization, pregnancy and childhood, many other. Okay. How does gestational carrier get pregnant? The healthcare provider will gather the eggs and fertilize them with the partner's sperm in the lab. In some cases, donor egg or donor sperms are used. If the intended parent uses their eggs, she will take fertility medication to provide as many eggs as possible for fertilization. Yes, an embryo formed after sperm fertilize, one or more egg is transferred to the surrogate mother. So, who is involved in the gestational surrogacy process? The gestational surrogacy process involves several people: the gestational carrier, the intended parent or parents, egg or sperm donors, surrogacy agency, fertility center, lawyer or legal counsel, pregnancy care provider like obstetrician, midwives, mental health provider, and genetic counselor. So what are the risks of using a gestational carrier? There are risks for couples or individual who uses gestational carrier. Some of the most common risks are no guarantee the pregnancy will be successful or go to term. You know, the pregnancy usually have several complications. It doesn't mean that if you get it through surrogacy, then it is a must that it will goes up to term. The baby can be born prematurely. So many complications can set in during the pregnancy. So also risk of fertility treatment and a medical procedure to the intended parents or carrier. Financial risk, associated with in vitro fertilization, emotional risk of miscarriage. You might get miscarriage, and then frustration over lack of control over the carrier, yeah, and then the pregnancy and other factors that can also bring the what, the stress, yeah, that is it. Let us talk about the benefit of using gestational surrogate. So gestational surrogacy provides couples or individuals with an option to expand or build a family when it is not biological or physically possible. And this is often a dream come true for people who otherwise wouldn't be able to be a parent due to any other problem, medical condition, congenital condition, psychological condition, marital status conditions, yeah. So can gestational surrogate keep the baby? No, you're not supposed to keep the baby. You just carry the baby and give to the intended parent, because that is the only your responsibility in that process. So you are not supposed to keep the baby. And anyway, I can say also it depends with the agreement of you and the intended parent. But in most cases, you are not supposed to keep the baby. Even if the intended parent dies, maybe they can take the baby to the parents or the relatives of the intended parent. But in most cases, you're not supposed to keep the baby. You are only there to carry the baby and deliver and give it to the people who are supposed to raise the baby. About the cost, it depends with the agency. Yeah, it depends with where you are, and it depends with the agreement between the carrier and the surrogate. Okay, between the surrogate mother and the intended parent. So guys, I think I've exhausted everything about this surrogacy, gestational surrogacy, traditional surrogacy, the risk, who is capable, who can, what are the qualifications to be an gestational surrogate. I've exhausted everything. So guys, if you've not subscribed, I don't know what you are waiting for in this channel. I should. Anyway, thank you for watching this video up to the end. Let's meet in the next video. Bye till next time.